Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you, Deborah, and thank you, Chris, for the opportunity to be on the call. My name is Josh Pilgrim, and I am from Rome, Georgia. I am a campus minister at a private university here in Rome, and for the last 10 years, I also traveled the country preaching in various churches and at conferences and camps, and so I've gotten to meet a lot of neat people, but unfortunately, Deborah, you know this as a minister's wife, that oftentimes ministers work they work full-time hours most of the time for part-time pay, and unfortunately that characterized me. Unlike most people, I did not join this company primarily for the health benefits. I really didn't need to lose any weight, but I was looking for something because my current job was not paying what I would have liked, and I was discouraged. As a man and as a husband, I wanted to provide for my family, and and with future hopes of having children, starting a family, and buying a house, and all of those things that come with being an adult. I wanted to do. I was limited by my income, and it was very depressing for me. But my preaching travels led me last September of 2012 to Ackerman, Mississippi, to Deborah's church, where I was preaching there, and I had met Deborah and her husband Jerry several years before, but I came back to preach there last September and noticed that Deborah had lost 65 pounds, and I almost didn't recognize her. And not only that, I noticed that her husband Jerry had lost considerable weight and had come off 4 insulin shots a day from his type 2 diabetes, and his hands weren't shaking as much because of the nerve health support he was taking. And to be honest, everybody in their church was skinnier. And I said, Deborah, what are y'all doing? And she told me about Plexus Slim. And to be honest, I was a little skeptical, but I at least wanted to know more about it. And so Deborah gave me 4 decision packs to take home for me and my parents to try. And so I did what anybody does when you give them a free decision pack. It sat on my kitchen counter for a week, and I didn't think about it anymore because, honestly, I didn't have a physical need, but I had a financial need. And so I told my dad about it, and they came over to the house one day, and my dad said, well, what is it? And I said, well, it's a drink. You put it in a bottle of water, and you drink it, and it helps you lose weight. And I know a lot of people who lost weight and are making some good money with this. You want to give it a try. And the first thing out of my dad's mouth was, that junk doesn't work. And I said, well, Dad, I was a little skeptical too, but, what do we have to lose? And so he tried it. And 3 days later, he called me back and said, Josh, that stuff really does work. I'm not hungry. I'm losing weight, and people at work are asking me about it. And he said, I think we're sitting on a gold mine. I want every sample pack you got, all of the information. And Deborah, this is how foolish I was. I had to literally go dig my 3 decision packs out of the garbage can because I had already determined that I didn't need Plexus, and therefore I wasn't going to do this. And I'm so thankful to the Lord that I did not throw that stuff away completely because, long story short, my parents started taking it. My dad lost weight immediately. My mom was much slower, but she lost inches before her weight, and 4 months later when she had to shop for new pants, she realized it was working for her too. And together my parents lost 50 pounds. But, I'd love to say that my business took off from there, but it didn't. For those of you who are struggling with Plexus in your business, don't be discouraged because the first 3 months I only sponsored 1 ambassador, and it was my dad. And so, the last resort was get your parents in, and so my dad was doing it with me, and it took a while. It took me 3 months to become a silver ambassador by the New Year's Eve, and one of those other ambassadors I sponsored was my father-in-law. And so and it wasn't because I wasn't trying, but you can imagine a skinny guy trying to promote a health and wellness company with weight loss. It takes a little while for people to listen, and so I kept plugging away, and I was discouraged because I found out that I wasn't going to get paid during the summer for my quote full-time job as a campus minister and as a professor, and I was discouraged. I wasn't getting paid much anyways, and then when I found out they weren't going to pay me anymore, I was just really downtrodden. And so around, I guess, June of this year, of 2013, I had just gone from a gold ambassador to a senior gold, and the business was growing slowly. And to be honest, I probably started this as an ambassador treating it like I did other companies, like a lottery ticket. I just hoped that I got lucky and found the right people and waited for it to grow. But what I realized at the convention, it changed everything, because I saw a great company. I saw fantastic stories like we've heard tonight. I saw people who were being successful, and I saw the direction of the company. And I decided in my heart that day that I was going to treat this like a business and not a lottery ticket. And so my whole mentality changed, and I started working with my team. And I tell people I became a cheerleader, a coach, and a captain. I was a cheerleader, cheering people and encouraging people on my team. I was a coach when I started to train my people, and then a captain by leading the way. And when I started doing that, our business started to grow. And long story short, in the next month I became a Ruby. The next month I was almost senior Ruby. 2 months later, here I am as an Emerald ambassador. And this company has blown me away at how well they have paid us and taken care of us. And so we've always tried to honor the Lord in what we did. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that today Plexus will pay me more this month than my, quote, full-time job will pay me in a year. And so, but what Plexus has allowed me to do, it's given me the freedom to do what I love and what I'm called to do, which is ministry, while helping people with what I enjoy doing with Plexus. And so what I tell people, I work at my full-time job as a campus minister for part-time pay, and I work Plexus part-time for full-time pay. And it's truly been a blessing for us. And, you know, with all the other benefits of going to Hawaii in the future, and my wife's informed me that we're going to be shopping for a Lexus this weekend, we're really excited about Plexus and the direction it's going. So let me just encourage anyone out there, if you're thinking about this, don't be like me. Don't throw away this opportunity. It's been a true blessing. And so the thing I would leave with you and what we've done with our life, we've tried to honor the Lord. And so Matthew 6:33 says, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these other things will be added unto you. We try to serve the Lord, and with our Plexus money, we've been able to give more and provide more for missionaries and to do more ministry than we ever would have thought without Plexus. So thank you again for letting me be on the call, and I wish everyone the best on your Plexus journey.
Wow. Amazing testimony. Amazing testimony. Thank you so much, Josh. Honor the Lord, and the next thing I gathered from that, Chris, is never miss an event. Make sure your people are at every Plexus event.
Absolutely. We've got some exciting ones coming up with first and next big one, Super Saturday, January 4th. We're going to have more info about that this Friday for everybody. So keep an eye out for that on our Facebook at facebook.com/PlexusSlim. Make sure you like our page. You'll see all of our updates. And thank you, everybody, for joining our call tonight. Thank you, Josh, so much. What an incredible testimony. It shows that if you just stick with it, you can definitely be extremely successful. Thank you. That's going to do for our call tonight. Go Plexus, and good night.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for being on the call.